seem like a calm and reasonable person. Let's just say this moment calls for calm and reasonable. Alright, let's talk about the timeline. So, for those of you that don't know, my entire series has a connected timeline that goes through the Godzilla movies. Anyways, the connected timeline of events is today. Okay. So let's get started. 1945. We all know what happened. It's also the day that 4 beings were awoken. 1954. 1954 Junior, Shin Godzilla, and Godzilla Singular Point. Now, all of them went to Japan in 1950, and they started attacking it up until 1930, when Japan launched an attack on them, which ended up in the death of Singular Point. Then Shin Godzilla would untie loose ends with his brother, scratch him on the face. He is blind in his left eye, and then he would go on his own adventure. 1954, ashamed of what happened, would try to appease his father. 1954. They got into a fight, which ended up with 1954 burning his face down to his chest right here. So then 1954 rolls around, that year. 1954, Gojira, the father, gets killed by the oxygen destroyer. His son was there, but it didn't kill him. As a matter of fact, it actually made him stronger. So then here comes 1988. Everyone is still fearing Godzilla, and Godzilla had his own son. 1954 had his own son named Dagon, and Dagon had his own son named Legendary. Dagon would die by the Mutos like he does in the comics, and his son Legendary was lost to time. So then 1954 is stomping through Japan because he senses a presence, and that presence is his father, Kiryu. So Kiryu is fighting his son Roris, just like in the movie. Now, this timeline right here, went from 1954's Gojira to Godzilla against Mechagodzilla. Watch those movies if y'all haven't. As a matter of fact, watch all the movies I'm about to mention. So, from that on, he gets a scar on his chest. I'm going to add that to the character. And then he faces his dad in Tokyo SOS. So then after SOS, here comes Raids Again. In Raids Again, this time it takes place in 1999, bridging early 2000s. The whole entire fight with Anguirus happens. Old scars are kind of opened up on Godzilla, and then Anguirus dies. Godzilla drags his corpse into the ocean, and that's why you would see it in 2019's Godzilla King of the Monsters in my timeline. So then 1954 goes to Antarctica, which is where landmines were placed at the base of icebergs, which caused them to collapse on him, and that's why you see that claw, that hand, in King of the Monsters. If y'all did not see that hand in King of the Monsters in the trailer, in the movie, watch it again. So then the timeline of events goes on with 2014, King of the Monsters, and then Godzilla vs. King Kong and Mechagodzilla. So you're probably wondering, what happened to Kiryu, since some of those that have watched Tokyo SOS, the webbing had dissolved in the water. Godzilla had gotten out of Kiryu's grasp. Kiryu was laid out on the ground. He then honored his father, and then he went off on his own adventure. And if you're wondering what happened to Shin would learn healing magic. And I forgot to place this in my last video. Shin learned how to heal wounds from the Oxygen Destroyer, from other kaiju, very poisonous kaiju, which would kill us in a split second like that. And also from people that are Gorgirians, that have had the sickness of the Oxygen Destroyer and used their atomic breaths and had people nearly kill them because of that sickness. So yeah, that's the stuff with Shin Godzilla. He's now a healer. He's a soul healer. He turned from being a god of destruction to being a soul healer. Soul healers are basically the hospital care attendants, the doctors of the Gorgirian race. And how they work is actually very interesting. Their atomic breath is, they have the ability of doling down their atomic breath and using the magic they've learned from the Mothras, from Mothra's fairies, granted to them by Mothra, since Mothra's fairies can telepathically communicate with Mothra. And then Mothra would relay that, the Mothras would relay that to the Gorgirians. I need some tea. So then we go into my timeline. It has been 7 years, humanity has lost all trust in the kaiju because of what Godzilla did. Godzilla has been going on expeditions, and he got bitten by a Skullcrawler. He also has 3 torpedoes, one in his arm, one in his shoulder, and another one at the base of his tail. In his thigh. Well, in the back of his thigh. Anyways, his 2 brothers are sleeping, and he's up waiting for his grandfather. His grandfather is up on a cliff, and it has been a treacherous journey for him. If you're wondering what happened, how did he get freed? When Ghidorah broke from the ice, he was freed. He relayed a message with his roar to Legendary, and Legendary got that message related to his brothers. His 2 brothers are Ancalagon and Leo. So then Legendary turns around to see his grandfather up on the cliff. And then Legendary goes on another run, on another expedition. And Caligon wakes up and is greeted by his grandfather. The scene then shifts from, oh, we're now meeting the characters, to go into comedic whenever Ancalagon starts to threaten his brother, and then his brother screams and hits the deck. He helps his brother up, and even though Ancalagon might not know it, his brother really loves him. So then Legendary comes back, teases his little brother, and he's annoyed by it, and relays all the information. They can't go to a couple of the regions because of the humans and Skullcrawlers. He was bitten by one last week. He relays that. Mark is so fresh. And then he says, okay, these 2 regions are good to go to. I scouted them out. Nothing's going on with them. So then a couple minutes pass by, and Legendary and his grandfather are talking. And Caligon is talking to Leo, and they don't notice it, but a Skullcrawler is watching them. The Skullcrawler then sneaks past them and bites Legendary on the leg. Gojira, without him noticing, without him thinking for a split second, fires his atomic breath at Legendary's leg. And then the Skullcrawler is dead. He is completely out of it. He is bones. Bones. Sounds like something that we might know as Godzilla fans, huh? You're seeing where this is going. Now, also, if y'all weren't paying attention, just rewind the video and just pay attention, damn it. Anyways, now, Godzilla faints, and that's the end of episode 1. Episode 2 is where Godzilla wakes up, and they're trying to make decisions on what they should do. And they make the idea of going to see Shin. Nobody has seen Shin for over 3 millennia. Who knows how many millennia? And 1954, knowing that his brother is the same one that nearly clawed off half his face, is nervous because he hasn't seen his brother in a hot minute. And then this goes on into episode 3. Episode 3 is where everyone is talking about I do, baby. I do, baby. Anyways, episode 3 is where everyone's talking and Legendary is trying to ease his grandfather's nerves. But then everyone is called over to the skull of the Skullcrawler. All the bones have faded besides the skull of it, and it has a very abnormal tooth on it. And a very foul stench. Even more foul than a Skullcrawler's. Leo stays behind while Enkelgon urges for him to hurry up. Leo runs off, and the screen pans and sees that the Skullcrawler's head is gone. Episode 4. Everyone is exhausted in this one. They have been walking for over 5 months. And they're not even there yet. As a matter of fact, they're probably still walking right now. So, Leo is saying how exhausted he is, and he's trying to make the recommendation that they should rest. 1954 says, no, we have to keep on going. I'm not trying to lose my grandson to this sickness because I've seen what it can do. But Leo snaps back, says, no, we are staying here. I see why they kicked you out of being king of the monsters, because you kept on making us go. And 1954 snaps and nearly kills his youngest grandson. Tells him what went on in his life, what caused him to be who he is. 1954 goes on his own deal. Legendary says, hey, he is right. We need to rest. We have been walking for 5 months. 1954 begrudgingly says, okay. Before everyone goes to sleep, Leo goes to Enkelgon and says, I didn't mean for that to happen. Keep that in mind until the end of season 1. Everyone's asleep now, except for 1954. 1954 is up, and he says, I wish you were here, Dad. And the screen pan goes down to black. It then goes up, and you see Kiryu. And that's the end of episode 4. Episode 5 is going to be made somewhere today. Gotta make it on the schedule because I'm kind of booked all day today. I didn't get any sleep whatsoever. Just took a rest. Just didn't really sleep at all. I just closed my eyes. And yeah, that was about it. So that is about it for the timeline. So if y'all have any questions about anything else, please let me know on my community page or in the comment section. Like I said in my other video, the comment sections might be turned off and on. I just have to get to the comment sections and place a comment down below, letting everybody know, hey, this video is actually good. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If y'all did, please consider subscribing. Join the Gorgerian Kingdom. Go into my Discord page and also join the Gorgerian Kingdom. All you gotta do is type in Gorgerian Kingdom, like I keep on saying. I think I just said that like 3 times. Anyways. Like I said, Didn't get any sleep. Kind of keep myself up. As a matter of fact, I'm probably just going to chill here. I hope y'all have an amazing day. Stay safe. We'll see y'all in the next one.